Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video in this series. So in this video specifically, we are going to be taking a look on how to fix the simple aim offset that you have seen have issues occur within the other video that we did when we put together the aim offset and then we fixed the mesh space additive to where our character no longer scales up, due to that fixture. But then we've noticed that the head rotation for the aim offset starts off like looking to the right. So for example, if I hit play, because as you can see that we have everything applied, when we hit the play button, you notice that our character immediately looks towards the right? Well, I figured out why it's actually doing this, I don't know explicitly. However, I know where the issue lies, and I know different ways to fix it, or at least provide a temporary fix to this issue, right? So it does have something to do with our getAOValue.x. right? So when we actually take a look at it, so if I pull up the aim offset and I do the enable AO, or not the enable AO, the get AO value, it is something in between this change with the get control rotation and the root transform that we have with our character, right? So it's kind of weird, and I'm glad that the problem still exists because I did disable this and hoping that it would fix the issue. But I think it has something to do with the root transform of our character, right? Because when you take a look at our event graph and we actually go into the essentials value, how when this is not enabled, the offset root bone's not enabled, how we then turn our character transform into the root transform. Typically or technically it shouldn't be an issue, but for some reason it is an issue, to where if we enable this, then we end up getting the offset root node from the anim graph and going through its transformation here and then setting it into the root transform here. So I don't know why it's specifically broken in that form, because let me show you, right? So if we grab the character transform, and let me be right here. So if we do a get character transform, and let's just tie it into here real quick and just kind of leave the root transform alone. If I compile and save, you could see that our head is straight forward and we can still look up and down. It's just that for our left and right, our character is still not really doing any sort of left or right offset like looks or anything like that. But if you twist real quick, you can get that quick change or that quick adjustment in the head, right? Because this is our technical like default root transformation, right? So if I put back the root transform, and then let's go ahead and get rid of the character transform here, and then hit play, we then have a problem, right? We apparently somehow our head rotates to the right, but yet we can still do a look up, down, and then quick movements to the left, right to then look and change direction. So I believe that this is having a weird interaction with the get control rotation. And to show you, if I go into the event graph and I do a print string, and let's go ahead and attach it here. So if I grab the get AO value instead and I do a split struct pin, because we're trying to focus on the yaw that we made, right? Like you're more than welcome to put the 2D node into the string to get both the X and the Y, but it's specifically an issue on the X because our character is looking to our right. So if we grab the X value, which we have as our yaw output, and plug it into here, you can see that right here off of our character's display right here that it's positive 90. So already, instead of it being a neutral 0, this explains why we just immediately look to the right. So if we were to then change, if we go back into here and we grab the character transform again, right, and plug it into here, well, now you can see that it changes to 0 because it's just getting the base root transform of our character. So there are a couple ways that I found to actually resolve this issue. One, albeit a temporary solution. The other one, I believe, actually permanently fixes it. However, I don't know because I didn't keep it up long enough. But the fixes that I discovered is that a temp solution was to do a subtract 90 from the yaw output of the delta rotator. So if we go back into our value here, what I ended up doing is, like here in the event graph, is I right click and did or actually let's just look for the subtract node. And then I plugged in the Z into the top and then our output into that node, and then added 90 into the second input, so that way we could subtract 90 from the yaw. So as you can see right now within our characters like anim display, that we could see the 90 and from the print string. But then when I compile and save, it goes back to being 0. And you could see that our head is actually normal, and you could see that the value rotations are good. You could see that when we do quick looks, our character actually does do the offset head movement, right? Like you could see the quick jolt in the head. However, it's not quite like the game animation sample project, because we're not quite there yet. There's still some other stuff that we have to go through for that to actually work the way it should be working. The other thing to do was to actually go, if we go back into the event graph and we go into the update essentials value, if you take this variable node name and you come to the command console down here, or console command section down here, and you paste it in, you'll get the command that we have gotten from the animation warping plugin to be able to set into here as such. And then I believe that you just need to type in a 1 to turn it on, or in a 0 to turn it off, right? So if we do that and then hit compile and save, and then let me just disconnect these real quick. I believe, actually, hang on, because I see that it's not enabled. So let me just do that. No, we are still looking. It did fix it for me yesterday when I was testing this, where when I did put in the enable and then hit 1, that it did actually fix itself for me. So I don't know why it's not doing it today, but regardless, this is pretty much the issue right here, where how it's getting its change from the get control rotation of, you know, when we actually control the rotation with our mouse or input or whatever, to our root transform, that it does break that. So for the moment, until we get other stuff fixed, you either need to enable that offset root bone and turn that on in the console command. However, again, if that is not working like you're seeing right now, then the temporary solution would be to plug in the yaw into the subtract -90 node, so that way it now offsets to 0 in order for your character to face forward. But like I said though, just like yesterday, as of, you know, 10/18/2024, the console command was actually working for me. So I don't know why it's not working for me today. I know that I did enable it and disable it just because I wanted to try to recreate the issue in order to show y'all today's video. But like I said, it's not working. So for the moment, the temporary solution would be to do a subtract 90 on the yaw right here for our X input in order to have our straight character's face. Another thing I did discover though, this is completely off topic in regards to the animation offset, was I did find out something more with the foot placement. So you'll notice that when we do start the game, how our character, you see how our character's leg and our feet look kind of janky, sort of messed up, right? Where how it's trying to make the placements on the floor, but it gets stuck until we completely rotate it, right? Well, we don't have any turn in place animations, so that's why our character has its feet acting like that for the moment until we get everything moved over. So, you know, in order to fix that, what you need to do is go into foot placement, and it's going to be in the plant, I believe. Yeah, the plant settings. And under the lock type, if you go to pivot around ball, you'll get locked rotation, where it's like foot is fully locked, useful for bigger mechanical creatures, right? So we're not a big mechanical creature. However, you'll notice that when we move now, the feet actually, you know, look normal, right? When we rotate, it, you know, it actually acts appropriately and doesn't do that little janky maneuver that we were seeing earlier, right? So that's, you know, that's one way to fix it temporarily until we actually get the motion matching nodes for or databases set up for our character animations for the turn in place animations. So that is another fixture for this video that I wanted to show you guys. And then the last fix, you know, besides the aim offset and the foot placement, is the motion matching node, or not necessarily this node, but in the, I believe it was the motion matching, yeah, right here. So under the update motion matching node for this right here, for the evaluate chooser, it slipped my mind when we were doing the video, because again, like, allergies were getting to me. I was, you know, also thinking about other stuff during that video. So one of the things that we need to do in order to fix this is you have to change the context class of this chooser table in order for us to get our self character. So you will have to go into the content drawer, and under content, characters, and then mannequins, or no, it would be, we have it under UEFN mannequin because we haven't created our own chooser tables yet, because I was planning on just copying those and moving them over. So you want to go to UEFN mannequin, and then animations, and then motion matching data. And then because we are using the post search databases, it's going to be this chooser table right here. And what you have to do is right here in the details panel, regarding the context object type class, you need to change this class over to your ABP Manny for you to be able to do yourself, right? So if I change it to the ABP Manny and then I hit save, well, when I go back in there, you can now see that it's changed over to the ABP Manny, to where I can then drag off and call a get reference to self, just like how they do it in the game animation sample project. So that is how you would do it. However, what I am going to do for the moment is, because we're not quite there yet, is I am going to change this back to the, where is it at? The sandbox character, just because it's like we're not at this point yet, because we're still going through the motion matching node. But I will have that video be coming out shortly to go over the first part of the motion matching node for orientation warping and stuff. So that is what we're going to be doing, but that is how you do the quick fix in case you ever wanted to make your own chooser table, and then, you know, make sure that you point it to the correct animation blueprint. So that is just a quick fix for the moment in case you do want to work on the chooser tables by yourself. I do also have an older video on how to create your own chooser table and go over the different stuff within it. So by all means, please definitely give it a look in case you want to go a bit ahead of me to create your own chooser table and get your own stuff set up, maybe your own animations, or maybe, you know, the retargeted animations of the game animation sample project to your ABP Manny and stuff like that. So those are pretty much the three major fixes in this video. Was the aim offset fix, or at least the temporary fix for that, the foot placement fix so your character's legs and feet aren't, you know, jankily moving, and then on how to fix the actual animation blueprint selection off the chooser table. So other than that, guys, I do apologize for all these problems that are coming up, but that's kind of, you know, again, what my point of my channel is that I will be making updates and stuff like that as I'm learning and figuring stuff out for the, you know, the game animation sample project, or Unreal in general. So that is pretty much what I wanted to talk about in this video. Other than that, guys, I want y'all to kind of start getting excited, because the next series that I'm going to be doing, I feel like is going to be pretty awesome, where we are going to be going over your first 60 minutes in motion matching and making a third-person shooter, where I actually have some interesting things set up, where we're going to be going over the basics of the chooser table stuff, making very simple pure functions that will get us a great start as far as a template to, you know, a third-person shooter. I'm still learning how to, I'm currently learning how to do overlay states, so I could show y'all, you know, efficient ways of handling like aim offsets and other stuff with you by using overlay states. And then also too, I'm figuring out, you know, how default slot upper body works in regards to reloading, shooting, etc. So it is going to be very interesting, and I can't wait to get into that with y'all as we go through making that stuff. Now I know I've been getting a lot of requests too with like, you know, doing certain things. I promise you guys, like as I learn this stuff, I will be sharing that with you. It just may take some time because again, I'm still pretty fresh with Unreal Engine. It's just that I've just been doing a lot of research in regards to how to do these things. So I know I've been getting requests like, you know, stair foot placements or climbing up walls in ropes or wall runs, stuff like that. I am working on that because that is stuff that I do want to do. It is just taking a while because there's a lot of like complex stuff you have to set up with those. So I have to figure those parts out in order to simplify them, in order to get people started with those. So I greatly appreciate y'all's patience on those requests as I get through this series and then get through my next series and then learning those types of things. So, you know, I want y'all to stay with me on my journey. So I think this will be, you know, pretty good, pretty fun as we go through this throughout the time that I, you know, make my games and stuff with Unreal Engine 5. So again, guys, I hope this was a good video for y'all. I hope it was educational as far as what fixes need to be applied and other stuff. So other than that, if you did enjoy my video, please check out my other videos and my future videos to come. But other than that, y'all have a great rest of your day and take care.